Kath, what made you want to stand to become president of the RCR 3 years ago?
Well, if you'd asked me at any other point really during my career whether that would be something that I would do, I would never have considered it. I just thought that's not the sort of thing that somebody like me does. That's for much more elevated people. But I'd done quite a lot of service improvement type stuff in my own trust. I'd done some other roles, like I'd been the chair of the British Society of Paediatric Radiology, and I'd also done the GERFT role, getting it right first time, where I'd gone round with data to every radiology department in England, and that gave me a really detailed knowledge of radiology and what was happening around the country. And up until then I was very shy and retiring actually, and I never and I wouldn't speak very much in meetings or express my opinion or anything like that. But after that, having met so many interesting people and understood so much about what was going on in radiology, I then discovered that I really had an opinion. And when I heard people, it gave me access to things that were going on at NHS England and higher level activities and people, decision makers. And I found that during the discussions, I really thought, well, no, that's not right. We should be doing this. And then a friend of mine actually suggested that I should stand. And until that point, I'd never thought of it. But then when they suggested it, I thought, oh, actually, yeah, that would be great, a position to have some influence and maybe bring some of these things that you've learnt about into practice.
And so, do you think there's particular qualities people need in order to apply for the role? And if so, what are they?
Well, I think wanting to do it
Yeah.
has to be the first thing. But, I mean, one of the good things about it changing every 3 years is that people bring different things and different skills to it. So not really, actually. Just wanting to do it, wanting to do the right thing for your profession. I mean, it's important to have quite a lot of energy. It does take quite a lot of energy. But it's also important to be able to make the time for it in your life, in your working life. But if you have an opinion and feel strongly about the profession, what we have to offer, well, both our professions, clinical oncology and clinical radiology, though when I came into the post I didn't know that much about clinical oncology, and you've taught me an awful lot. You have taught me an awful lot, but that only brings richness actually to the role. So I think if you want to do it and feel strongly about it, then you're the right person.
Yeah. And I know that the role changes day to day, week to week. What would a kind of typical week be for you, both in terms of what you're doing and the time that you need to commit to that?
So, I mean, every job is always more time than you've got for it, isn't it? But it's very exciting in that it does change all the time. So I spend on average about 2 days a week in London in the college, and I'm meeting various people. There's quite a lot of meeting people out at different meetings in the evenings. There's a lot of evening meetings. Some of that is over dinner with various different people. I speak to people in government across all 4 nations, speak to people from other radiological and oncology societies across the world, and do a lot of talks. We have a lot of data which is very interesting to people in the UK and abroad, and so I present that data and try and use that data to try and influence people to improve things for our profession and to stand up for our profession. Sometimes there's media appearances, which I found quite daunting at first, but again, it's like anything else, you get used to it and quite enjoy it. There's a bit of travel, going to other conferences abroad. That's quite fun. I mean, all in all, I've never had such a great job in all my life. It's so interesting, the people I meet, the perspectives I get. There's so many people to support you at the college. You know, there's lots of staff at the college who are all working to make it successful. and they're a real can-do attitude. So it's just wonderful.
And is there anything that surprised you? Anything that you really didn't know but now do and has surprised you about the role?
Well, I'm surprised actually at how much support I have.
Okay.
It's very different to my day job, whereas everything I do basically I have to do myself. I write everything myself. I do all my own slides. I get into the college. I've got a wonderful office, and somebody gets me my lunch, and people are always asking me how they can help me to achieve what I want to achieve. And actually, that does mean that you can get a huge amount more done. So that's great.
Thank you.